wants to create two factors. Then use the symbols in the key to draw a diagram to represent your expression. David, can help me fill in these blanks. Which number should I put in blank? What order? Using 1, 3, 4, and 6. Let's create the number together. Where should I put first? It's whichever one you want to put first. Okay. Let's put 4. 4. Okay. And then what's next? 6. Okay.
And then 3.
And then 3. Okay, so we have, thanks, David. So we have 4 times 6 and 13 hundredths. So we can use 2 strategies. Let's say we know. So this means that we have 4 groups of 6 and 13 hundredths. So what would 6 and 13 hundredths look like using our flats, rods, and cubes? Troy, can you unmute and tell me that? What would 6 and 13 hundredths look like using our flats, rods? Okay. What would 6 and 13 hundredths look like using our flats, rods, and cubes?
So you'll have 6 squares, flats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Then you'll have 1 10,
Which is it a rod or is it a cube? A rod. And then what?
3 cubes.
3 cubes. 1, 2, 3. So that is how 6 and 13 hundredths looks using our flats, rods, and cubes. So we would have to draw this out 4 times for 4 groups. But because of our time today, and because we still have to get to the line fractions, I'm going to go. I just want you all to remember how to draw out your flats, rods, or cubes. So we're going to use standard algorithm to help us solve this problem. Remember, I usually put my decimal on top. So 6 and 13 hundredths times 4. What would I have to do first?
First, you have to move on.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You have to move on.
How many times am I moving my decimal?
2 times.
2 times to make it a what? A whole number. Yes. So I move my decimal 2 times. Now I have 613. So 3 times 4. 12. 1 times 4. Okay, 4 and 4 plus 1 equals 5. And 6 times 4 equals 24. But we still have to come back and move that decimal 2 times over. So 1, 2. So our final answer is 24 and 52 hundredths. Okay, so I just wanted to review that multiplying decimals before we go into our lesson for today. All right, so of course our standard multiplying and dividing decimals to the hundredths place, we're going to use concrete models and drawings. And today we're going to focus on how to represent dividing decimals using base 10 models. So, 1 second, I got to put the code in on my side. All right, so we have a few problems here that I wanted to show you. Let's see, I might start off with the first problem. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this problem first because it relates back to what we were just working on with the class, the rods, and the cubes. So, with the divided fraction, we can kind of use the same strategy with the fraction of the cube. So, first, make sure your unit number is turned. Sorry, y'all. Go back. Okay, so so it says the diagram it shows the dividend before he divided it and after. So I didn't put the after part on there because I wanted us to do that together. But they divided it into 4 groups. So before I can determine how many groups, I need to figure out the equation. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 holes. Okay, let me write that 12. 12. Let me count my rods. 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's 4 tenths. With my decimal. And then let's see how many cubes I have. 1, 2, 3. Let's keep something away. Come on. Go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 800. So I have 12 and 4800s, and we're going to divide that. This is our dividend into 4 groups. So we're going to divide into 4 groups. So this time, so when we were multiplying fractions yesterday, we had to create the groups where we were creating the groups as we moved along. This time, we're going to go ahead and create our groups before. So I'm just going to create 4 groups because I know that I'm splitting this 12 and 4800s into 4 groups. So I'm going to start off by splitting or dividing my flats. So this is 1 flat. I'm going to cross it out and put it in my group. My second flat, cross it out, put it in the group. Third flat, cross it out, put it in a group. Fourth flat, cross it out, put it in a group. So now I'm going to go back to my first group, cross that flat out, put it inside the group, cross that out, put it inside the second group, cross that out, put it inside the third group, cross it out, put it in the fourth group, and I'm still going to keep going until I don't have any more flats left. So now I'm back at the first group, I'm going to cross that out, and then put it inside of that group, and cross it out, put it in the second group, cross that out, put it in the third group, and then cross that out in the fourth group. So luckily this time we were able to equally put 3 flats in each of our groups. Sometimes, say for example, we might have 1 flat left over that we wouldn't be able to divide, and we might have to break that flat down into 10 rods in order to equally divide it. Okay, so now I need to go to my 4/10. So I'm going to cross that out and then put my rod inside of my group. Cross that out, put it inside of my group. Cross my 3/10 out, put it inside the third group, and the fourth rod, I'm going to cross it out and put it inside the group. So I was also able to equally divide my rods. Once again, if we had an extra rod left over that we weren't able to divide, we would have to break that rod down into 10 cubes so that we can equally divide it. Now I have 8 cubes, so I'm going to go. And because it's down there, we can't. It's giving me a hard time. I'm going to go ahead and divide those 8 cubes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I'm going to count how many is in each group. And when I count that number, that's going to let me know what the quotient of 12